My girlfriend led me to believe I got her pregnant, but I found it wasn't mine after the birth.
Hello everyone and welcome to another wild story from the corners of the internet. For more, make sure to gently smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Let's dive into it.
I've been on Reddit a while and began lurking this sub when I first suspected my GF was cheating. I had hoped I wouldn't be here posting, but here we are. I, 28M, have been with my girlfriend, 25F, for just about 2 years. The relationship was good, and then she tells me she's pregnant. For the most part, I'm careful, and she said she was on birth control. I was skeptical, but went to an appointment. I then figured it was just one of those things. I always wanted a family, so even though this was not how I wanted to begin, I was overjoyed. We're past the first trimester and I have her move in at her insistence. Insert red flag I missed. We're planning what we will do work-wise and how to set up the baby's room. She is pretty insistent she will go back to work, but be able to stay home. She swears she can make it work. I go to every appointment with her. Things are still good at this point. We're in the 3rd trimester, and I make my schedule work to still go to every appointment. Up until this point, I had been at each appointment in its entirety. This one appointment, she asks me to wait so she can talk to the doctor first. I'm super concerned that something is wrong with the baby and she didn't want me to hear. I go in and the checkup is done. Everything looks good. My girlfriend brushes off my concern over why I couldn't be there for all of it. Another red flag. We're about a month and a half from the due date, and I notice her being kind of secretive with phone calls and texts. She tells me it's work and it's confidential, etc. My antenna is now up, so I try to get looks at her phone. She's got Snapchat and Kik. I find it strange but don't confront her. The baby is born and I'm overwhelmed with emotions. The child is perfect and everything went fine. Then comes the part where they want me to go on the birth certificate. My girlfriend becomes really insistent about it. She's constantly asking me to do it and seems way more anxious than I've ever seen her. Here's the red flag I didn't miss. I refuse to do it. We have an argument, but she stops pushing. I think it's because she knows how suspicious it looks already. We're home, and she has to go tend to the baby. I notice she set her phone down to go to the baby. I couldn't help it, and I looked. It was still unlocked. I start looking for texts or calls. Then I find a whole conversation on Kik with a guy. All the updates of her appointments, pictures of her and the baby. Then I see it. The part she says she thinks it's his child. I confront her and she apologizes. She admits the baby could be mine or someone else's, but she thinks it's mine, but she doesn't tell me who this other person is at first. I demand a paternity test and leave.
I'm glad OP finally saw the red flag. She was trying so hard to push this poor man into being the father. Let's get to comments for a moment together. One user says,
paternity tests should be mandatory these days.
She was never going to tell you. The lesson here is to listen to your gut. You were lucky to find out before you were legally on the hook with a marriage or a child.
OP has updated to post few days later.
It's been about a week since the confrontation. The results came in yesterday, and the baby was not mine. She's gone to live with her mother. Here's the best part. It took me a lot of digging since I only had the username of who she was talking to. But I finally figured out who the affair partner was. The AP, as well as the father to the child, is her boss. The secrecy was for him. The boss has a wife and 4 kids in middle and high school. I found his wife on Facebook and sent her all the information I had, including texts from my girlfriend confessing the baby was his. I'm heartbroken in so many ways, but I'm also lucky in a lot of ways here. Still, I feel the hurt more. This has completely changed my life outlook. I'm bitter, angry, and can't trust anyone or anything. I have no idea how to recover from this.
First off, I'm glad OP went after the boss. Hope he reports them to HR too. Not as a revenge, but the right thing to do in such awful situations. As for the emotional side of things, I feel you, OP. Trust is such a precious thing, and when your trust gets broken like this, you feel lost. Keep your chin up, my friend. You will recover and better days will come. We also have some community comments supporting OP and cheering him up.
Damn. I'm sorry. Dodged a huge bullet. That poor wife of the AP. Glad you told her. At least you are not tied to her like the AP's wife is tied to him. Literally, no contact with your ex. She is trash of the highest order.
You dumped her and exposed her affair and child to the AP's wife. Good job. Now, take your time to grieve your loss. Look after yourself and realize that you were fooled by who she lied to you to be, and that none of this is your fault. Then take another moment to think how lucky you are to have dodged this bullet. It doesn't feel like it. But you were darned lucky. It could have gone down way worse and cost you years of your life and a child you have already raised.
Subscribe and ring the bell for more wild stories. See you next time.